So you want to be a tanker in World of Tanks console? Okay, no problem. But first, there's some things you need to know. This game is not a race to the higher tiers. It doesn't give you a high score for reaching tier 10 the quickest way possible. There is a lot to learn in this World of Tanks, things that will be essential to your success on the battlefield. Vehicle tactics, map strategy, utilizing resources, managing your tank crews. There's a lot of information that'll come at you, and at times it might seem overwhelming. Don't fret. I'm Mobius Y, and I'm here to help. I was a new tanker once, just like you. We all are at some point. These videos are geared towards the new blood for the World of Tanks console version. The kind of new blood that desires to learn and improve, and be the best console tanker they can be. If that includes you, stick around. These tips could quickly give you an edge on the battlefield. Hey fellow tankers, this is Mobius Y speaking. Previously in New Tanker Tips, I showed the various aspects of the heads-up display or HUD in World of Tanks console, what they're used for, and if possible, how to change their settings and appearance. That time we went over the basics. Now it's time to talk about the more advanced features available in the HUD. So let's get started. In the bottom left area of the screen, just to the right of the status window, is where the Detected and Sixth Sense icons appear. When Detected lights up on your screen, this means your tank has not only been located to the enemy team, but someone is actually aiming with their weapon at you. Detected is a good indicator that it's probably best to dive for cover right about now. A note about the Detected icon is it does not appear under certain conditions. If your turret is turned away from an enemy who is pointing at you, your Detected icon will not appear. Basically, if an enemy is aiming at you from your sides or your rear, you will not be notified with the Detected icon. Also, the Detected icon has about a 3-second delay before it will actually appear. If your tank's crew has been trained with the Sixth Sense perk, then the area directly beneath the Detected icon will light up with the Sixth Sense icon whenever your tank is spotted. Sixth Sense notifies you at any time with no time delay when your tank has been spotted and can be seen by the enemy team. If the icon is lit, the enemy can see you. Directly above the Detected icon is where the hull lock icon appears. Hull lock is a feature strictly for turretless tank destroyers and artillery, if you recall. If you are unsure what hull lock does, I suggest you go back to episode 2 of the New Tanker Tips video series tutorial. In the previous episode, I explained the use of your map in the bottom right corner, as well as how to alternate between two possible map settings. There is another way to bring up a larger sized full map view whenever you are in a battle. Simply press the back button to bring up your map screen. On the map screen, there is a large-scale map of the entire battlefield that fills the center of your screen. This map will be filled with green icons indicating the location of your teammates as well as the class of tank they are driving. Whenever an enemy tank is spotted by you or your teammates, their tank's location will appear as a red icon on the map. Within the map screen is a green square indicator. This indicator can be moved with the left stick, allowing you to highlight any grid square within the map. If you press the A button while highlighting a certain grid square, you will create a noticeable ping on that grid square which will be visible to the rest of your team. You can use this to highlight a critical location on the map and make your teammates aware of the situation in that region. Another thing you can use the map grid for is with artillery. When you are using the overhead artillery view, you can open the map screen with the back button and select a grid square with the left stick. When you've selected the grid square you wish to aim at, you can press the Y button to snap your overhead view directly into that grid square. This is incredibly useful when you are attempting to reposition your artillery shot over a great distance. When the map screen is open, you can also see your team's information. The left side of the screen contains your team's information, including the name or gamertag of the player, the class of tank they are playing, the tier of the tank they are playing, and the name of the tank they are using. The numbers closest to the map indicate how many opposing tanks that player has destroyed this battle. If a player's tank is destroyed, their name and tank information will be grayed out and dropped to the bottom of the list of players. While in the map screen, you can use either the left or right bumpers to move your cursor over to the player lists on either your team or the enemy team. By highlighting a certain player, you can then press the X button to quickly mute their voice communications if need be. Whenever you have the map screen open and wish to go back to the regular HUD, simply press the back button again. It's important you become accustomed to checking your map with the back button on a constant basis. especially if you use the circular compass minimap on the main screen. The map screen can quickly tell you the location and disposition of your allies and your enemies. At the bottom of the main screen are your supplies. Directly next to your ammunition loadout are the consumables you have equipped. These consumables are one-time use items that must be replenished every battle. If you use one, it will disappear off your HUD. Your tank's consumables are typically used by pressing the X, Y, or B buttons. The consumable on the left is used with X, the middle with Y, and the one on the right with the B button. The most common consumables have no effect on your tank until you use them. If a consumable has a green outline around its icon, that means it is imparting some kind of passive bonus to your tank just for having it equipped. Some consumables offer a passive bonus, but can also be used to repair a part of your tank. Again, once that consumable is used, it disappears from your HUD and it is no longer imparting its passive bonus. If you wish to see a longer, detailed video explaining supplies, I suggest you check out episode 6 of my Tactics Talk series of videos. This will go into much more detail explaining what each consumable does if you equip it on your tank. If your tank mounts certain equipment, namely the camouflage net and binocular telescope, you will see their icons displayed between your ammo loadout and your consumables. When your camouflage net or binocular telescope are active, they will appear with a bright green glow. When they are inactive, they will appear as a faded gray. Again, if you wish to see more on equipment, I suggest you watch episode 6 of my Tactics Talk video series. It gives a detailed explanation of equipment and what mounting it does to your tank. Lastly, we have the module and crew indicators. These are the icons within your status window. Whenever one of your tank's modules is damaged or your crew injured, their respective module or crew icon will light up. A damaged module will appear with an orange outline, and a destroyed module or injured crew will appear with a red outline. If any of your modules are damaged or destroyed, or your crew injured, your tank's performance will suffer immensely. You will have to use one of your consumables to repair or heal them and return them to optimal status. The two icons at the top are your engine and track modules. If your engine is damaged, your tank will move and turn significantly slower. If your engine is destroyed, your tank is immobile. Sometimes your engine can suffer enough damage to catch fire. If your tracks are damaged, your tank does not suffer a loss in performance, but it is likely that the next hit to your track will destroy it. When your track is destroyed, your tank is immobile. The three icons on the left are your ammo rack, tank gun, and turret modules, respectively. If your ammo rack is damaged, your tank will reload much more slowly than normal. If your ammo rack gets destroyed, your tank is instantly destroyed regardless of how much HP it still had, and you are out of the game. If your gun is damaged, it will be much more inaccurate. If it gets destroyed, you cannot fire. If your tank suffers damage to your turret, the turret will turn much more slowly. If it is destroyed, it becomes jammed and will not rotate. The three icons on the right side of the status window are your viewport, radio, and fuel tank modules. If your viewport suffers damage or becomes destroyed, your tank's view range is greatly reduced and it becomes much harder to detect enemy tanks. If your radio becomes damaged, your radio range is significantly reduced. This makes it less likely for teammates to see your position on the map, as well as any enemy tanks you have detected for them. If your fuel tank suffers enough damage, your tank will catch on fire. When your tank catches fire, your HP takes even more damage, and the fire is likely to damage more modules or injure your crew. The icons at the bottom represent your crew. The binoculars represents your tank's commander. If your commander is injured, your tank's performance is reduced in all categories and suffers a large penalty to its view range. Also, if your commander is injured, any crew skills or perks applied to the commander will not activate. For example, this means 6 cents. Your tank's gunner is indicated by the crosshair icon. If your gunner is injured, your turret turns slower and your gun also loses accuracy and aims more slowly. The steering wheel indicates your driver. If your driver is injured, your tank moves and turns more slowly and is less responsive. Your tank's radio man is represented by a pair of earphones. If your radio man is injured, your radio range is greatly reduced, making it less likely your position is being relayed to your teammates, as well as the location of any enemies you're spotting. The tank's loader is represented by the vertical shells icon. If your tank's loader is injured, your tank's gun will reload much more slowly. Remember, if any of your crew is injured in a battle, it's a serious detriment for your tank. Also note that not every tank has all 5 crew members available to it. Some tanks require only a crew of 2. That was a lot of information. I hope it wasn't overwhelming. In the next video, I'll explain how to use experience and silver that you gain in every battle to progress and upgrade your tanks. That's all for this episode of New Tanker Tips. If you're a new tanker, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're already a grizzled veteran of the World of Tanks battlefield, consider showing this video to your friends if they are new to World of Tanks. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.